a lot of the overtime games and just a lot of the atmospheres with the grass and like the fans rushing the field, just everything. There's a lot of stuff that goes into college football that really does make it great, including the Alabama Georgia rivalry. Now, this game was huge, and Alabama, of course, is now ranked 10th. I think they deserve that. I think they definitely proved themselves, and maybe you don't say they have them at 10, maybe you have them a few down, but regardless, this was an incredible win against the Georgia team that was top 5 in the country. And Georgia was like, I mean, they've won the SEC a lot over the past few years, so they were the favorites, understandably. But and also that's what happened again is that they were at home. Georgia wins at home. That's what they do. They like even before COVID, they hadn't lost. And Alabama, we were talking about it all week. It's like, well, they went on the road at Vanderbilt and lost to an unranked Vanderbilt. Then they went on the road against a 5-6 Oklahoma team. It's like, and then they play their worst game ever, where it's like, and then they go on the road at Florida State this year, and it really doesn't go well. So it was hard to build much confidence. But Alabama really proved everyone wrong this week. 24-21 against a Georgia team that maybe wasn't as good as past Georgia teams, definitely not. And they probably should have lost to Tennessee as well. But like this was very impressive for Alabama to go on the road like this, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge win for them, and it bodes a lot of confidence. Alabama just continues to have Kirby Smart's number. Kirby Smart is now 1-7
Right.
against them.
Mm-hmm.
They only beat him in the 2022 college football playoff national championship.
Right.
Um, But man, I mean, two streaks went down. We talked about the Washington streak, but 33 games is insane. I mean, their last loss was in 2019 versus South Carolina.
Right. And then
So
Penn State's whiteout streak as well. So yeah.
right, right. We talked about that in 2018 when they lost to Ohio State. That was the last time. But now that got stroke that streak got broken as well.
Mhm.
But Alabama looked really good in this game. They had an extremely hot start with two quick
Right.
touchdowns, and they really just controlled this game for sure.
Right. Yeah, I mean Alabama really played well, and Ty Simpson's looking better and better every week. And of course, the big story is Ryan Williams, and he's not 17 anymore, uh, unfortunately. But Alabama is pretty solid, and I mean, I know they only won the game by 3 at the box score, but like this game felt like they controlled it a lot more, and Georgia ended up having to play from behind a lot. And I mean, Georgia just played such an uninspiring fourth quarter, or maybe you just say Alabama just played such a great one. It's like Georgia had a lot of chances to tie this game or do anything, and they really just didn't execute on any of those opportunities, Jack.
Yeah, they really didn't. I mean, they had many opportunities to tie a game. There was a missed field goal in the fourth quarter,
Right?
but yeah, they just could not get much stuff going. And Alabama
Mhm.
looked like definitely the superior team. And
Right?
that home field advantage didn't really make a difference that much, which is surprising because they've won so many in a row.
Right?
But there was an interesting play late at the game that actually won Bama the game. Was number one for Georgia jumped on top of a pile while the play was over for a while. So that was an interesting play. What did you think about that?
Right. Yeah, it made no sense. And I've seen a lot
Yeah.
of edits where it's like you just see him flying in out off screen. And then like I don't know what compelled him to do that. It didn't really make sense. I'm not real sure what he was thinking. Because the videos and all like the memes, like it's really funny, but at the end of the day, you're like, what was he thinking? I honestly don't know. It was pretty
Mhm.
funny, but it's like not only that, like not the time or the place, but it's like you're in a really tight game with a conference rival. You cannot give up yards like that. You cannot give up first downs like that. So
Yeah.
I don't get it. Definitely could have gone without that. And I mean, they were doing good outside of that. And I know they were still losing, and I know they had to come from behind. And like their second half, like I mean, that fourth quarter, both teams were scoreless. Like they really had a chance to at least get a field goal. And just any possessions like that, any penalties are so huge, especially on third downs or fourth downs. To extend drives or to stop yourself from getting first downs, whatever the case may be. But just giving the other team that advantage by committing a penalty that's so random. Where it's like if you think like if they commit pass interference because they got beat, it's like, yeah, well, they were stopping the touchdown. Where you think about that in basketball a lot. It's like, well, yeah, if you're gonna foul because that they had already beat you, so you're just trying to stop them and make them earn it at the field goal, make them earn it at the free throw line. Where it kind of feels like that, but it's like when you do something like that, it's just so unnecessary and so
Yeah.
irresponsible. And I mean, just think about everything that your team had done all game and all year to get to this point, and then you just do that. So yeah, it was very confusing. I don't know why he did that, and that was a very stupid play, Jack.
Yeah, it definitely was. And there were a lot of questions about Alabama. I know after that first week reaction, we were saying maybe Kalen DeBoer is not the right choice for this head coaching position to that embarrassing performance against the Seminoles. But man, they have stormed back. They look like a complete team now, not like they did in week one.
Right,
But yeah, they really responded to all the criticism,
right.
and
Yep.
they really look good. Yeah, I know you had them at number 23 prior to this week's games, which makes sense. They didn't really do anything to earn it, but they really, I think, earned that top 15 spot for sure this week.
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, that game against Florida State was just so uninspiring, where it's hard to really put them too high until they did something like this. And Alabama definitely deserved to jump up. I think I was just more concerned because they brought over Kalen DeBoer's right hand man and Ryan Grubb. He didn't have him last year, where it's like when he really has success, he usually has that guy, Ryan Grubb. So they brought him in. And then that week one performance was so putrid, but it's nice to see them get back on track. And maybe there were just some growing pains. And Florida State was really ready for that game. So I think there's just a lot of things that went into it. And I mean, this Alabama team, I do think they're good. I think they just got caught lacking in week one,
Mhm.
and they definitely look better now. And I mean, to go on the road against a Georgia team that was number 5 and that really doesn't lose at home, and they hadn't lost at home in a while. And so to go on the road like that, especially being not that great of a road team yourselves, and to do something like that, it really was a great performance, Jack.
Yeah, it was for sure. And this is another huge test. They've already been tested a couple of times this season, but this next one against Vanderbilt, this is really going to show for either team that really who's for real and who's like atop the SEC. 100%.
Right.
Because if Vanderbilt wins this game, I mean, that this will put a lot of people on watch. And I think they can
Right.
do it. And they're not as bad as the AP poll suggests they are because they have such an electric offense. And we'll see if the
Right.
defense can do better against the Crimson Tide. But
Mhm.
this is going to be a really good game.
Right. Yeah, and I mean it's going to be really interesting. And Alabama gets to host it this time. They had to go on the road at Vanderbilt last year. Now they host Vanderbilt, and I mean Vanderbilt really does look good. And they went well. Vanderbilt seems like they're a pretty good road team too because they went on the road at
Yeah.
South Carolina and housed them. So then you wonder like if they go on the road at Alabama. I think Alabama's definitely better. I think South Carolina was just a little fraudulent and a little less complete than we had thought going into the season. But I mean, this is really going to be a tricky test for both teams because I feel like Vanderbilt's not getting the proper respect that they deserve in the rankings quite yet. And this win would definitely do that, where it's like Alabama still has a lot to prove, where it's like post the Florida State loss, even though they beat Georgia, I think people are still saying like until they put them understandably in like the top 5 category, they need to prove it a little more, where it's like, it's not like an Illinois level of proving yourselves like that bad, but I definitely think that obviously would be a huge win for them against Vanderbilt. So that's going to be really interesting and a huge, a kind of semi rivalry where it hadn't been for a while because I mean Alabama just kills them every time, right? But now Vanderbilt won last year, so that's going to be really interesting next week, Jack.
Yeah, for sure. And if Vanderbilt loses, hopefully they don't get disrespected and get thrown out of the top 25 because I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think this will be a close one because I think Vanderbilt's still a great team, but this could really go either way.
Right,
So we'll just have to see.
right. Yeah, that one's going to be really interesting. And I mean, Alabama just really played great. And I mean, on the road, like Alabama's a good team, and I definitely give them a lot more respect in my rankings this week. And I mean, 23 it was pretty low, but I feel like it was understandable until they had a great performance. Where even if they lost this game, I was going to say, you know what, they were pretty competitive against the Georgia team that was really great that wins at home. Where it's like that Florida State game, it's just the fact that they weren't in it at all that was the main problem for me, Jack.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that score is way closer than that game suggests. They were really never in that game.
Right?
and just a few garbage time touchdowns made that closer. But they look like a completely different team than they did week one. So